ready for recording. Okay, I guess I'll call to order the special joint meeting for the commissioners and council. There's 4 councils here, 3 commissioners, so there's 4. I think what we want to discuss first of all is the Ready Grant 2, and we do have a sample letter. Scott Walker, if we want to protect the city of Covington, has sent in their letter to join Ready 2. I know this time is kind of uncertain what kind of projects are be available, you know. I think the state is going to be selecting, you know, whatever projects. So I just want to be ready. You know, there's some housing, more housing projects that I think are needed in Baton County. Reached out to Petersburg, you know, there could possibly be something over there. So Covington and Attica are working on one company with the Ready Grant, you know, that we received from our, and we just designated those funds.
So I think all that were just understanding that later there would be a MOU, and then honestly ask for.
I know at one time they were pushing to RDA, and I'm not so sure that some of the smaller counties are interested in that. So you know, we're kind of maybe Warren County, White County, Fountain County, maybe. Time of every county is one to blame. It's good we partnered with WIGA because Ron is fighting right along with Warren County, White County, Carroll County, or small farms. Really, he's against this Ready 2. There's a lot of uncertainty of what's going to be available, and so whenever that information is out, what do we want to and I know, you know, is that a match? Is that a match? Yeah, we'll have a match. We just don't know how much. Right. I guess it depends on the project. If we have training plan with all those. The team is getting wind that maybe we want. My concern is, do we need that? Is there a way there's 2
I think Rod said it's almost by mistake. Administrative burden, so Scott's office gets a big chunk of money from Ready to be the administrator.
Right.
The Greater Lafayette Regional Initiative, so if we did something on our own, we'd run into the same kind of problem that we run into. So who's going to administrate this? Who's going to oversee it? Who's going to wait for the council, commissioners, do all of those?
And so that is one good point to go by because I'm fine with being with them because this is 2 5
Activity comes too late to prepare, so this is prepare.
And you wouldn't have to like, if something came up that we weren't interested in, we don't have to do it.
It's just those dollars gets dispersed among those that did, you know, submit to.
Well, what happened last time, there was like 33 projects that were submitted, then the team had to narrow it down, so
We have
it's similar,
more.
similar process.
And I don't know if it's gonna go through our governing board, or if it does, then it goes to the state will select like anything else. Ours and you guys do. Mine used to be on that side, that would be in there.
Awesome.
You say that there's a project coming out, they got county money, but 2.0. She said she would like to see that project apply for TIF to get it, because otherwise that project not gonna get it. The county is gonna get a tax revenue on that.
You know, I think that's. And move forward, if we do have projects, things we. I don't think so either. We didn't sit up there and it's like different areas. I know Covington was wanting theirs in here, but that didn't go through. School, that would change too.
Well, at least.
Funding. Since we made.
We had a pretty lengthy board meeting that night, and I went in early to get my. Back in. That meeting, I think the board, everybody was on a teeter totter, you could have persuaded anybody one way or the other. And say you look at the money. Say you look at the money and say, this is not benefiting our budget at all. It's adding a lot of work to new employees already. It's a lot of reporting work, a lot of everything. It just doesn't make sense. Other than
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think I got the feeling that you and they were talking about that first year because you lose the grant.
Yep.
And then you get about 168,000, then you pay out almost half of that for salary and benefits. So then you're right back to basically where you were.
Strings attached.
Yes,
Yeah.
strings attached.
And something was what? You said that. Sure. And the county has no problem.
Yeah.
Because those services are all
Right,
together.
right.
We would literally have to send people or hook up with Montgomery or Tiffany to keep this right to another day.
The one thing I don't think it's good one to do was sit down at meeting and say, we're taking services away from our residents. That's not what anybody wanted to do. But I think at any given time, they're doing the services, it's just on an on-call basis now, it's not reported. So I don't think there's any services being lost. Year two, the funding is substantially different. There'll be a lot more experience across the board on different counties doing the program. And, these guys can go with them and see what it takes and go from there. Year number two, the budget would be affected by it. So, but it's not a free for all. I think a lot of people in the beginning thought, oh my God.
Okay, so if you look at year two, and I'm assuming that's 2025, is being year two.
That would be,
The minimum amount is roughly 330,000, 500 shy of 338,000, but we have to do a county match, it says,
yes, for sure.
of 80,035.
And that number has maybe varied a little bit due to, correct me if I'm wrong, due to our levy, tax rate.
Still waiting for that.
Oh, yeah, so they posted that and then maybe reverted and said, hang on a second, maybe that's not right, it may be
On the county match,
on the county. But nonetheless, if you do the math, we run about $550,000 budget, including grants. That's not what our capital budget is, but when you include those grants and include this program, we need about 550. So if you take the 338 that they're offering plus what our match is going to be, it comes up to that number.
right, because it says the maximum is 450, that'd be great for that.
Yeah, right, so that minimum number may deviate, they may have a better representation of that, although year two is gonna be hard because a lot of people may opt out, we are for year one. With projections of opting in for year two possibly, so those funds that could be available because people opt out and get distributed may look different than their three.
That's what I wondered, because you only have 25 counties this year.
You could be pushing 400,000.
Yeah, and so then the next year,
It's gonna be, year three is gonna really be where you see what people do. And year two will be, I would guess, a high opt-in rate, and then year three will be everybody's average out. People have done it for 2 years, may say, the heck of it, we don't want it anymore, or they may say, we're all on now. And all the counties are on. So year three is probably gonna be our really basic.
Who's counting the opt-in? Well, yeah, so wouldn't that be similar to the opposite? We would get other counties money?
Yeah, so I don't know that they've given a for sure percentage, if it's 100% remaining or 50% remaining, what they'll redistribute. Indiana has done a pretty good job of filling up all their funds, so I would imagine there'll be a tick greedy.
Oh, then I would hang on to the majority of it.
So, yes, there is a possibility that we could get more if we opted in for year one or year two, than what the minimum is, but we know what the minimum is, and that's really what we have to base our budget process on, anything excess of. And the way I see it,
I see what he's saying too, because if we're one of the counties that opt in year one, we get more money.
And that was the,
Yeah,
but then it's like, you really don't know for sure,
right.
and that's what I asked last week, Thursday, when I was at the commissioner board meeting. It's like, yeah, thank you, and I said, yeah, but you really don't know for sure you're gonna get,
Or dangling it in front of you?
you're anticipating you're gonna get.
So
You're
here,
gonna be mad if you don't.
yeah, really, our only way for that to even be enticing is, you take in the budget that you proposed, fund 100% of it, maybe give her some extra money, and then take the opt-in procedure to entice them. But that's the only way it's gonna work, because she needs her 360,000, whatever that number is. 59, what? 360, to run her department 100% now, that takes no efforts, her looking another way. So she's gonna need money to look the other way, to help entice them to start training. The only way that makes sense is you fuck more than. Hope you get an extra 50, 100,000, but that's all I hope. You don't have a clue what they're gonna get. So they have to opt in by September first, but our budgets aren't gonna be set until October. You know, so it's a really hard. Yeah, right, so by the time they have to make a decision, you're not gonna know what they're gonna get until it's already set. This point, if they wanted to opt in, which is their call, you know, you're gonna have to do a gamble, budget. And then it involves more money than what you probably is asking right now. Just about a part, because you're gonna lose it on grant work, unless they compensate, but you're not gonna know they're gonna compensate until we've already set stuff.
So Andrew, for next year, you know you're gonna opt in. That means this year's budget, you need to put in queue for new hire for get them ready for that complement.
That's a good point. If that's the way we're gonna go, that new hire should probably be in there. But that salary will be based off the potential cost in 2025.
You would at least.
For sure. Well, yes, I don't, you guys have seen her new proposal. Yeah, so her existing budget, the new budget, went up to what? To, yeah, 359 is what you need now to run an existing health department. So no matter what, that budget is going up.
That's why I want that council.
Yeah, for sure.
You may need to add another 20,000.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So then you're bidding more like 375, 385.
it's gonna be in that ballpark. You know, that's gonna be a number that's gonna be reimbursed, so if we do opt in. If we don't opt in, we won't get employees. That extra money that's gonna be added to employees, contingent on opting in, contingent if we do opt in, it'll be compensated with the funding stage. Yes, they count as funding, but, you know.
Colleen, when we do opt in, the local health maintenance fund and the trust funds, are you instructed to merge those remaining balances?
There has been no instructions on that. We're just to set up a new fund and then the money will go in there, and I assume they would get with you after.
Did you want to talk about that health rate, being at the budget it's lower?
Well, we had talked about, and I talked to Colleen about it too, to manipulate, well, when Colleen is entering the budget on data, there's ways of calculating it. It's either calculated levy or when you choose one or the other, it will affect what the tax rate is going to be. So if the council wants to be really involved, I mean, probably gonna have a sit down at that screen to show this is what's gonna happen if I calculate it by levy. And this is what is gonna happen if I calculate it for tax rates. They'll be different. And if the request is not high enough or what is approved is not high enough, that's gonna affect the tax rate too. If you don't have a higher approved budget, your tax rate's gonna be lower. So there's a reason why you got less money in certain funds because it wasn't approved. Because we want to keep, the council want to keep everything about the same as what it's been all those years. Sometimes you have to raise it so that you're not raising your tax rate too much, but you're just raising a little bit. I mean, no one wants their taxes raised. But we're all the time doing additional. We're all the time doing additional appropriations. You shouldn't have been doing all those additionals. You need to think about it. And I know,
Well, we know the state can come in and say, no, this is what you're getting.
but feel feel free to get on Gateway and look at other people's budgets. Yeah.
So there's one.
So if you look at the balances of your funds, there's plenty of money in the health fund. I think it's- If you look at your funds, comparison balances and everything that Colleen sent out, you can see that the health fund is 1.4 million. And I know the thought was in the past few years, the tax rate is about the same because they didn't really need extra funds for either, like some, maybe tax bill, new bridge or reassessment. Factor two. It's a little matter, what we get from that kind of. No, that should, recommend tax rates or anything, that's just back to the county, be put to its fund. Little bit, like, it's not probably not.
It has to be operational
Yes.
before we start receiving. Which would you budget for them, we can't count on it yet either.
No.
It'll just be a boom when it starts coming in. You just can't make your budget based on what we're gonna get that money because who knows, are we really? So how do you feel about the opting in?
So you guys are okay with this? And it gives us some time, I think, take our time to arrive, I think, Jane and the rest of the staff has really been, just are working together, and they've been working with us. Hey, you know, what you're into, you know, so I feel good. Have you, and then a little, why we came. So I'll be, you know, I want to be very supportive, because they're gonna have to do all this, and I'm not comfortable.
Right. I think there's been enough conversation between people that need to be having that conversation. So I feel like on this. Invest their knowledge.
What did you say was what now?
1.4 million possibly.
It's one.
But usually it's 1.2.
It's 11:59, 11:59.
Consider adding the local.
That's a different number.
1169 or 1168, sorry. And then 1206 is the trust.
Have to get any of the money back from those other two because it was based on prior years. So
Right.
I'm doing whatever's in those funds this counts.
Right, and so I don't know, and that's why I said she's gonna get direction from Staples Accounts on how those funds can be used up, if you still have to budget them, or do you just spend it down till it's all gone and then? I doubt it,
It's grant money.
We're going to stay in the health department.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I said we did it, well, that
Oh,
Carry over request.
Okay.
What's it say?
So do we need to make a vote to agree to the opt-in?
I mean, if you want,
We need to make it.
yeah.
One.
Yeah, a motion. Favor of opting out first year.
Thank you. And I know we had lit EMS on the next thing, but we did, we're rescheduling the days of summer to come talk to us.
Figure out a meeting date.
Yeah, we need to figure out a meeting day and have him talk. I know,
Help for a stupid new guy, helping that will be.
lit EMS. And you have a picture.
Mass is a local income.
Okay, you have to have an operation of your own EMS in order to be eligible, right? And this is something new. And with the cost of, the need of doing ambulances and everything, I thought it was, maybe something that Fountain County should look into. So Colleen was at that budget meeting, her and I spoke with Jason Semler somewhat on having to talk to explain better, what that would entail.
There's a couple stipulations of parameters that the county has to meet to be eligible to opt in for this rate. From my understanding, we are eligible for this because of how we operate our EMS department.
Yes, because we,
Is that 55 cents or 55? Like,
Yes, sir.
you sent me an email about it too, way back.
Let's see, rate may not exceed 0.2%. Well, what go up? The lit tech, it could, or they could, the current lit rates that we have right now, they could decrease one and then put another one in. I mean, that's up to the council on how they want to do that. And I'm sure they're gonna put a lot of thought into the county providing EM services for all units for the county. We do. County pay 100% of the cost of the EMS services we do. HEA 1454 eliminates qualifying provisions to broaden the eligibility to enact a rate for the EMS services. The timing and maximum rate remain unchanged. The rate may not exceed 0.2%. Effect more than 25 years.
Do they give you the least amount to go to? They give you what it can go to, but how low can it, or will it ever drop?
And so the other thing
Yeah.
that I want to think about with that EMS is, some of these cities are wanting an ambulance service in there. So if we get this lit EMS, I want to find out, is all the money just going to go to the county or is it going to go to these cities? Because I personally would like these cities to contribute to the county for reimbursement of our ambulance services. That's just.
Well, and that kind of goes back to Guard having one in Advocate, wasn't it? I mean, and then Covington stated they would like to have one.
So
So, yeah,
what if you find out how, but they say a lot of the counties go towards that?
on the lit,
Yeah.
we don't know at this point. You have to give notice to all affected units by August 1st. I don't know how many, they didn't say at the conference how many's going and how he's not. Right now, I don't think there's too many counties with lit. It's basically your larger counties. I know, Fort Wayne, Allen County has it. I know they're one of them, but most of them are bigger counties.
Jason Fisher from Liberty County, maybe be aware of it, and looking at it, I believe the county working on setting in. I believe they are actually setting up to do that in their county. But I know at one time there was only like 2 or 3 counties within 90 counties per people.
Yeah, I was thinking 5, that number.
But that was back in a year.
Right.
I saw that. But I geez, it's too much qualifying.
And the notice must be given to the affected local package by August 1 of a year. So like you said, we don't have time this year to do this, but if we can do our homework, we can maybe be ready for next year if it's something we want to do. And then you can be looking at your other lit rates and see if you can tweak them a little bit to where maybe increase it a little bit, a point whatever, could possibly bring in enough revenue to get another ambulance.
And really, if you're interested in that, we don't have to wait till the last hour to
Yeah.
do it. I
That's a
mean,
lot of
if
work
we're
for
still, if we're wanting to go this way, I say continue on this path that we're on now, so that we're set and ready to go by
Next year.
next year. We give them notice that in 2024, we're gonna do this.
We just wanted to discuss this.
Yeah, because
like
we
you
have
said.
other lit funds, this would just be an additional,
Right, and we're not
Right,
having
you know,
that.
like ambulances, we've got 3 ordered. We don't know when we're gonna get them. If they all hit at one time, it's gonna be ouch.
Yeah, this is gonna get worse. I mean, by the time we get these three, it's gonna be time to order it.
not
Well,
only
yeah,
more.
then they're all piled up together
Yeah,
and
right.
about at the same time.
Brand new. December.
But, I know some of you have done some research, you got some correctional facility lift. That's something new that they talk about, I don't know if that's something we would be interested in. But I just wanted to throw that information out there to you, so you can be thinking about, is there a need, does Fountain County need this? And I want to be ready. It's not, let's cram all this together in a month's time. Not fun.
It would help offset the ambulances for sure.
Not just doing ambulance.
But equipment, equipment.
No cost, I would know, but especially with,
Yeah,
I'm in a situation right now, I've got 3 classes, but I've got 3 monitors. in each place. They're at max. Monitors right now are running around $40,000. Brand new. If you look at say, your maintenance and I'm on, but there's a huge liability behind that. Now, gonna do what they'll, yes. Less. But we're at that point, saving. We get to do the process in. We do ones, everyone is.
Two, two here.
I'll set some of that.
With this all being new, we just need to be ready to ask questions, if we do choose to opt in and do this, where's the money gonna go? Is it just gonna get distributed to the county or cities and towns? And if so, we need to talk to these mayors and say, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing, but we need some help from you with an offer of service. Online assistance to your. And really, I'm just throwing this out there, lit seems to be a more fair tax because to me, it's more of a user fee. Everybody pays in on income tax for if I use some burden from the property tax. Sure,
Our question on the collections.
Sure, yes, absolutely. It's helping a lot. She just submitted, I think the last time I was on the head, she submitted 15 out there and she got 15. Spots back on. Got that insurance on. Oh,
Well, yeah, of course. But that's kind of fall back to health part, let's get a static, but if somebody going after all the time. have some.
Because we have individuals doing multiple. These things, That's all I have for
But you're right, it would help.
That's an unfortunate thing about that. But guys, social media, hey, does he have a community board?
if he needs one, I thought he was gonna be reaching out to you to
He told me,
finalize that.
he told me he would, with the black. Yeah.
On a joint call with your wife, and, you know. I was on a joint call with your wife.
You're looking at calls.
No.
She said why, he backed out, right?
Tim, I thought Ron was working with you and Tim on finalizing that list, because I think there was one or two that was kind
I just told, I gave him a list of good folks. and
Okay.
I said I had some in my back pocket.
Okay. okay, well, I might reach out to him.
I just wondered
Yeah.
if these two are a little bit.
I think they're wanting to get it finalized, so I think they're pretty quick. So I think they have another meeting coming up, don't they? I thought they did. So anyway, did you council have anything else? You have anything else?
Yes, if I could, the plan commission issue, Gary McGraw and Roger and I are looking at the last meeting. Would want setting the state out. You don't pay attention to that stuff. It's allocated. Tell you why the change, I've been told why the change was put in there. But looking at the comprehensive plan for development, I would really like, first, I thought about this for a long time and never said anything. I think it would go that more south forward before you on New Town a lot, Hillsborough, open that up. And I know Roger will talk to engineers, but if the county wants done, it's going to take political capital. It's not going to be engineered. And I would really like for the plan people, help people look at that. It's something I would personally
Have to create a lot of traffic.
do down.
So after our last meeting, I gave the highway engineer and I work with him closely. And I'm starting to socialize the idea back in. And my thought is, if we don't get any negative pushback, then political comes in again to say, hey, here's the pushback, we need to get this going. It's gonna be, as any project will have, it's gonna be a 5 to 7 year project.
I just didn't know where it started. I mean, yeah, I mean, you got your chatter and everything, but it's
Yeah.
like, is it the planning commission, you know,
We,
do they initiate it and then it just kind of goes up and that's where you involve us?
we started it with that meeting, and then what we need is, I kind of got the nod, just go ahead and talk to it, let's see where we fall. If things start progressing positively, I think then they're moving and talking, you guys can get it, and then it's there's no point of everybody getting involved, I'm not gonna say absolutely not, this is dead for the next 20 years, you know?
But still at the same time, we still, even if NDOT pushes back, the politician killed it, we can move forward with it.
Yeah. The politician that killed it got a share of Covington.
So let me hear back from that, I'll keep you all in the loop.
It's something over there.
That's true.
You know, looking at it. And then when ours are rejected, I look at that, you know, the lines are already there. I have an idea in the back of my head, what was within.
And it would also help in that there to detour or semi-traffic,
Oh, that's
instead of
also-
bringing them down
I can't,
55, they can get right off and.
I can't drive far with 750. Into Bush Walk Road, but they have to get off. I mean, there's no place, there's no place to go. I'm not trying to, you know.
Okay, Jim, we really know that, we really know.
Yeah. She was that kind of. Place to go.
No, there is no place.
Once you open up, you have several working parcels right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
I'm just saying something I've thought about for years, and I just want to make sure county thinks about it.
I mean, here, if NDOT wants anything in writing, I'll draft something, run it by you guys, make sure you're okay with it, and then I'll just submit it to them. Because at some point, talk is nice, but they're gonna want to be here, you have a plan.
I appreciate you thinking about
Oh, I think they have tried.
Started. Yeah, there is, if you go look at it, it's already started.
Okay.
Yeah, it started. But we can talk about economic development at intersection.
There's a lot of value in that.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I think Wayne, this is a big town, having that 2,500 changes, there's nothing with it.
Yeah.
I think that's a big miss.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's the state road.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad it's.
Quite smart. Or yeah, go.
Are we done? Mayor, do you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. All right, Commissioner.
I think I should right now.
Sorry, I did it again.
I am sorry.
Launching some big gestures.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Does anybody want to look at the two